How's it going, my truant people? DrSlaking, the Slacking Doctor, back for week 2 of the NPL. And this week we're taking on the Inglewood Infernapes, I believe, coached by King Clyde. I'm pretty sure that's alright. If I got any of that wrong and butchered any of it, I do apologise. But we are both 0-1 going into this game. So one of us here is picking up our first win of the season, which is really, really nice and really exciting. My man has a very, very scary draft. One or two things that I expected to see didn't come here, like Mega Diancie. He expected to see my Volcarona. We haven't brought that this week. So definitely an interesting matchup with both of us being surprised by some of the things brought. Shout out to my front office. Again, I don't really remember. In fact, this one I didn't have any prep for. This game, I literally just built the team in the morning and then just played him like a few hours later because I was in such a rush and I was out all day on a house viewing with my mum and stuff. So it was just crazy this day. So this was a completely untested team, built very quickly. But shout out to my front office anyway, because I love them. So just shout out to them for no reason. But this week we're going up against a very, very scary team. And we have brought a Hurricane, Heatwave, Taunt, U-Turn. I think U-Turn on it, potentially. Tornadus, I think it was Life Orb. And looking at his team, the combination of Hurricane plus Heatwave really, really runs through his team. We have Taunt for something like the Reuniclus, if I think that's going to be a problem. I don't know, like calm mining and setting up or anything like that, or recovering up, etc. Stalling me out, waiting until I miss hurricanes, things like that. His best hurricane switch-ins are the Skarm, which doesn't take a heatwave very well, and the what do you even call this thing? Zera Aura, which doesn't even take a hurricane particularly well because it's not especially bulky. So then we have Mega Medicham. This set was the reason that you do mocks. And the reason that you have a front office to check your sets, because I was an idiot with this set. I brought High Jump, Kick, Zen Headbutt, fine, right? Bullet Punch makes sense. And then I brought Recover instead of Fake Out, because I kind of think Fake Out's a bad move a lot of the time. We're going to talk about that later, because that was not the one. Recover was not the one. I don't really know why I did it. I like to play my Mega Medicham fairly aggressively, so I thought it might come in helpful, but nah, that wasn't the one. And then we've got Banded Tyranitar here. This is Pursuit, Crunch, Stone Edge, Stealth Rocks. The combination of Pursuit or Crunch plus Stone Edge hits his whole team for neutral damage. He doesn't have a Dark Resist with him at the minute, in fact, so just Crunch hits everything for neutral damage. As Stone Edge hits a couple of other things super effectively. So, and his only Stone Edge resist is Zydog, which is like not a resist to anything, it's so frail. This is Rocks on it because I didn't think I'd ever really bother getting Rocks up against him, so I didn't mind bringing Banded Rocks because, like, his team isn't very weak to Rocks. I didn't expect the Rotom Freezer thing. What do you call it? Rotom Frost, that's it. I didn't expect this thing to come because I kind of think it's bad. So when it came, I was like, oh shit, maybe I do need Rocks up, but we'll see. The Arcanine having Rocks up would be alright, but like I say, I don't see it as essential in this matchup. Then, once again, we have a Slowbro to check the Zygarde, although it's a very different Zygarde proposition this time. It's pretty much the exact same set as last week, near enough. Then we have a Drill these are actually Sand Seethar and Sand Drill for once. So we're not doing Mold Breaker and Nerve this week. Because this week I really like Drill under Sand against his team. I don't expect it to sweep particularly. I think more than likely that we're going to try and break with the two front ones here and then win with our defensive win cons in our regen core of Slowbro and Among Us. But an Excadrill can kind of help these two break. And it was here as an AV Excadrill to help check the Mega Diancie that otherwise offensively scared me quite a lot. And then last up we have Amoonguss, which the reason that this is supposed to check Diancie is because Amoonguss was built to take on the Zera Aura that otherwise is actually genuinely quite scary, even though I didn't really respect it coming to this match. I didn't really know what it did. I didn't really look it up. I was just like, yeah, it's just a Jolteon that's physical. That's the way I saw it. Didn't really think anything more about it. But with all that being said, we decided in this game to lead off with a Mega Medicham. I wanted to lead really aggressively and potentially scare one of his Fregulamons out with a Fake Out. Say the Zera Aura if you like for a Volt Switch lead, or Zygarde if he wants to try and set up or go for like banded damage straight away. Either of those is going to take huge damage from a Fake Out, and I wanted to try and scare them out a little bit rather than have to switch into them straight away. And all of his slower threats, I mean, Mega Medicham loves them, so we can deal with that. So we lead off with Mega Medicham, as he leads off with the Zydog, and here I am going to double out into my Zydog check, but I do think he has to switch because he should be afraid of the Fake Out, and he is. Obviously I'm not packing it, but it's fine because that gives me a double into Tyranitar. Now, we're both switching around like crazy. He goes into Reuniclus, makes perfect sense on my Medicham. I could have tried to go to my Tyranitar, but you can't go into Tyranitar on a Zydog if he stays in. So now I'm going to try and get my Tyranitar in as he goes into this, I guess maybe not wanting his Reuniclus to get toxic or something. And here, this is a really interesting turn. I'm like, do I want to switch again? I look at my team and I'm like, what the hell do I switch into this thing? Like, I don't have... It's dual stab hits most of my team, and I realized that I didn't prep at all for this thing because I kind of just thought it was like an unmon, and now I look at my team and I'm like, shit, if he's Willow and I go Excadrill, that's really, really bad. Banded T-Tar will still do decent damage. I am like banded. I don't know if I'm adamant or jolly, but I will still do decent damage even with a burn because I am banded. But that's probably my best mid-ground is to stay in with T-Tar, and I don't think his best play is to stay in anyway because if he's like a slow support Will-O-Wisp set, I probably outspeed him because I do have quite a bit of speed on my T-Tar, and if he's a fast offensive set, then I expect him just to Volt Switch out. So with that in mind, I'm going to go for my banded Stone Edge here, as he actually misses his Will-O-Wisp. He is out faster than me, and I land my Stone Edge. Now, I apologize in the chat to King Clyde, and I'll apologize again. Genuinely, that sucks. It did feel a little bit like a repayment for last week when we missed our first turn Hurricane, which ended up sucking because it meant later I went for a default when I wouldn't have had to. So, like, I feel like, again, first turn, the first move of the match misses. I feel like there's a little bit of justice, but that wasn't his fault. He wasn't even involved in last week's match, so I genuinely am sorry to him. The only thing I would say, because if you guys are new to the channel, this channel is always all about learning and trying to learn from our plays, our opponent's plays, and stuff like that. I personally feel like that wasn't worth the risk for him, because that was a very, very high risk play, and I don't think the reward was worth it, because if he missed the Will-O-Wisp like he did, he just lost a great offensive threat against my team. And had I pivoted out on the Will-O-Wisp into something else, it wouldn't have gained that much anyway for him, and had I been Scarfed T-Tar, then I would have just straight up killed him with my Stone Edge again anyway. So, and he didn't know my set at this point. So for me, I kind of think that was a misplay by him. Whilst I fully apologize for the miss and everything else, for us, our perspective as people trying to learn the game and stuff, I feel like his better play was to Will-O-Wisp on something like my Slowbro or my Amoonguss that I have to switch into T-Tar with, so that way if he misses, I'm switching so I don't get any offensive thing against him, and he could just pivot out. Now, he does have a tough time pivoting into T-Tar, but he could have gone into something like the Skarmory on that turn, for example, or even gone into the Zydog, expecting the Stone Edge. So, I guess he thought I would just go for rocks, but like I say, I feel like it was a more aggressive play than was worth. So I've talked enough about that turn, and if he's watching, King Clyde, feel free to, like, you know, leave your thought process in the comment section, because I'm never trying to dictate, like, this is a good play, this is a bad play. It's all about learning, and I want to hear everyone's side of the conversation. But that's how I feel, is like, there's something to be taken from that turn, right? And that's that it's a very high risk, low reward play, in my opinion. So that's that. I've said my piece. So he goes Arcanine here, and I'm like, you don't go Arcanine after you've just seen my T-Tar Stone Edge you, unless you're either Will-O-Wisp again, you want to get another burn, or unless you're fast offensive close combat. And he is at least close combat. I don't know if he's fast offensive at this point, because that looks like it's an uninvested close combat, which means that I can absolutely tank a wild charge. So I'm like, that's fine, I'm going to stay in the Skull to just get damage off on this thing, because this thing's a pain in the ass. I don't want to always coming in on my T-Tars to revenge me. And it threatens quite a few of my mons. So I'm like, yeah, let's just put it low. I have no bones about putting this low. He Toxics me, which sucks with my Sand Chip plus the Toxic Chip. It's not ideal on Slowbro, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And I pivot here into Reuniclus on the Arcanine, because it would be able to take a close combat or anything else. Now that I've seen he's uninvested, he's not going to do too much damage. And I'm just going to taunt the Reuniclus, like I said, I don't want him setting up on me. So we just get a taunt off there, and now we can pivot into T-Tar on the Reuniclus, and hopefully we can trap it. But he makes a really intelligent double back into Arcanine, predicting that T-Tar to come out here. I didn't want, the reason I went for the taunt before going hard T-Tar, is I didn't want like an Iron Defense or an Acid Armor or whatever coming out on the Reuniclus as I went T-Tar. I didn't want that to be his set, so that's why I think the taunt was my best play there. Now we pivot into Slowbro again on this Arcanine. We switch him very comfortably to this Arcanine. He might have Wild Charge, but like it's not going to do very much because he isn't invested. So like it's calm. We can just keep coming in on this thing. And then we're going to pivot back out, I believe. No, we're going to go for Thunderwave here. We're going to go for Thunderwave because I want to try and slow him down on his Arcanine ideally, so that I know my T-Tar outspeeds him, so I don't have to keep pivoting. So I can just stay in with T-Tar and just keep killing things. That's what I want to do. But now I'm going to go T-Tar because he is paralyzed. His chance of paralysis, if he goes for Focus Blast, I will tank it. He does go for the Focus Blast. I do tank it. I've seen from the damage he did to my Tornadus that how much damage this was doing. I can't remember the exact spread, but it wasn't going to knock out my Barney. And here I go for the Banded Crunch in case he tries to stay in and go for another Focus Blast on my Pursuit. Pursuit won't guarantee to kill because it looks like he is really bulky, and I don't want him regenning off that damage and me wasting my Tyranitar. So that's why I went for the Crunch. We do kill the incoming Arcanine, so Arcanine is now gone, so I don't have to pivot into that anymore, which is really nice. Sean is still my dedicated Zydog check, so I'm going to go out into Sean here. And here I just fire off the Scold, I believe. because it gets me a potential burn on the Zydog and a potential burn on whatever coming in. No, I don't. I pivot into the Tornadus because I know that I can take the 1,000 arrows and outspeed the Zydog, and I can go for the confusion here. I'll go for the Hurricane here, sorry. We get the confusion, but he does break through the confusion, the paralysis, which kind of sucks, but I can't complain. Like, he missed the Will-O-Wisp, so I definitely have already had my share of hacks. And we're just going to pivot into T-Tar here, because I don't think he ever Focus Blast into Torn. It won't kill, and if I Hurricane again, I will kill his Reuniclus, but I don't want to... The reason that I don't just straight up Hurricane here is because if I miss, I will lose my Tornadus, and my Tornadus is still so useful for outspeeding the Zydog, for breaking the Skarmory. So I don't want to lose Skyward, so I'm like, it's not worth missing the Hurricane. And this is what I'm talking about, high risk, low reward pays. It's not worth it. I can go T-Tar, because I don't think he ever should Focus Blast. So we go T-Tar. As he goes Zeraora, I've got my sand up, I'm getting a little bit of chip, so if this was Sash Zeraora, I've broken the Sash, so I'm like, that's fine. I can go Amoonguss as my dedicated Zeraora check. We haven't seen this matchup yet, but now we're going to find out something about the Zeraora. Looks pretty offensive, I'm guessing probably Adamant Zeraora because of my speed tiers, but that's fine. And here, I believe we double it into Tyranitar, predicting the Reuniclus to want to come out on my Amoonguss because he won't want me to be able to spore anything on his team. And the Reuniclus already being paralyzed means he can come in on me. And here I do fire off the Pursuit, because this time, even if he stays in, I guarantee to kill. So that's what I'm talking about, making sure you get the most out of your turns, right? We maximized our turn there. We waited for the time when we could definitely kill with Pursuit before we clicked it. Now he goes into the Zydog, and we're just going to pivot back to Sean. We're only at 99, so we're still at a reasonable range of health, but with the Toxic and the Burn, it's pretty bad. He's doing 40%. We can take another, and I'm just going to Scold here because I'll at least definitely put him in range for Tornadus to revenge kill if I need to. I might snag a burn, and if he goes into the Zeraora on me, then I want to burn the Zeraora. I don't want to let that in for free on an Ice Beam, so that's why I go for the Scold play there. We do burn the Zydog. It lets me pivot into Torn. It doesn't really make too much of a difference at this stage, other than kind of like differential in a sense, because like I could have just left my Slowbro in and then gone Torn and broken things on his team with Torn. So like it swings and roundabouts. And now I can pivot out into Strongfall because he was doing too much to my Torn. And this is why regen is so good, because we're just throwing things out here, just sponging up hits. I'm going to go for this Sludge Bomb with Strongfall this turn, I believe, because again, I don't want to let that Zeraora in for free if I can help it. And now I put him down at a range of health where he dies to the next burn, and I can Synthesis this turn. There's no sand up, so we're going to get back to a really, really good range of health. So I'm in a solid position. We get back up to nearly 100% here, and I feel good. I feel like that was the best use of my turn. And we're looking possibly at a 6-0. We're looking possibly at coming back with a massive, massive win. So this Skarm doesn't scare me too much. I can always regen off any damage it can do to me. So I'm just going to go for the Spore and shut it down. Because what that lets me do is it lets me get in my Mega Medicham. So I go into Mac here, and Mac's going to be able to potentially secure his first kill of the season. We've got the guaranteed first turn of sleep there. That's fine, and now I'm going to Mega Evolve and go for the high jump kick. As long as we get more than one turn of sleep, we definitely 2-hit KO, and this thing shouldn't be able to kill me anyway, so maybe like offensive Brave Bird. I don't know how much investment he'd need for a Brave Bird to kill. I'm really not sure. Skarm's pretty weak, so... but yeah, we killed that with the Zen Head, but then we didn't want to go for the high jump kick in case he woke up and had Protect, so I just went for the Zen, or in case I missed and took 50%, it wasn't worth it, so I just went for the Zen. But here's a really interesting turn. I'm trying to decide to myself what's the best thing to do here. Like, if I let him sub up or get any setup, I could be in a bad spot. But I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, I don't think this thing gets any setup or any, like, it could be sub. And I don't want to Zen Headbutt or high jump kick into a sub and then him be behind a sub and me be in a really bad spot, right? So I'm like, I'm really torn about what my best play is here. And actually, with hindsight, my best play was just a high jump kick. Because if he subbed, I could always break his sub and revenge kill him with Extra Drill under Sand. Extra Drill outsped this thing under Sand, so I would have been fine. So I should have just stayed in and high jump kicked here. But I'm going to be perfectly honest, I got a bit greedy. I wanted the 6-0. I'm not going to lie, I wanted the 6-0. Week 2 of the NPL Minors, after not having the best record in Tour, I got greedy. I got greedy. My ego got to me a little bit, and I was like, I want the 6-0. I kind of want it. People were piping up in chat, and I was like, I kind of want it. So here he goes for the Bulk Up, and I'm like, oh, damn, and he has a Fire Punch, and that does quite a lot, but I can Spore and put in Sleep, so it's like, it's all cool. He's got one guaranteed turn of Sleep, so I'm just going to Synthesis up on his guaranteed turn of Sleep, get to a good range of health. Got nothing to fear from this thing. I still have my Extra Drill in the back. This thing should never, ever be able to sweep me, right? So he wakes up, first turn. I'm like, it's fine. I'm going to get a Sludge Bomb off here. And he crits Strongfall. So I played Reckless to try and preserve the 6-0. And it completely backfires as he gets the first turn wake into crit. I definitely think that makes up for the Will-O-Wisp miss earlier in the battle. And again, I misplayed that. I was talking about how I don't think that was his best play earlier on. I definitely didn't make my best play here by going into my move. I played greedy. I went high risk, low reward. And I got what I deserved because he got the first turn wake up crit and I got punished for it. So now I'm just going to go Barney. It's fine. I live rocks and I get sand up. He can Plasma Fist me down. It's not a problem. He can't take like a banded crunch anyway, really, even at +1 defense. So he can't risk not attacking me and setting up more particularly. Now Drill comes in. I guarantee to outspeed under sand. We are fine. I'm just going to click Earthquake here and kill this thing. Wait. No, that's a Sugar Berry. I did not see that coming. He Fire Punches me, Okos me because he's adamant. I didn't even think he would Oko me with that. Like, that could have been a roll because I had quite a bit of bulk in my Escadrille. I'm not quite sure. But like, oh no. Am I about to get reverse swept? Like, everyone in the chat's been piping up about wheelchair, about 6-0. I'm about to get reverse swept. I'm about to get reverse 6-0'd or reverse completely all 6 months dying to this Zeraora. And I'm like, what can I do? I don't have Fake Out on my Medicham, but I do have Bullet Punch. And Bullet Punch on an uninvested Zeraora does a guaranteed like 20%, I think. So I'm looking at this, I'm like, he's at 15%. He shouldn't have too much bulk. So this should put him in range. This should definitely put him in range. All I've got to do is make him take sand turns. So that's why we go for the Earthquake. I put him low. I figure out how much the sand chip's going to do to him. And I'm like, my best play is to sack as much as I can before going Medicham. And then picking him off with the Bullet Punch, right? So here, I'm going to go into Slowbro. There's for no reason here other than just to sack it, just to get an extra turn of Sand Chip. Goes down. Fine. I'm like, this is cool. This is fine. He goes down to like 15%. And now it looks to me like Bullet Punch definitely kills. And if Bullet Punch doesn't kill, if somehow he's bulky enough to take this, Sand should definitely kill at this point, right? We go for the Bullet Punch and we do pathetic 9%. So we obviously had a lot of bulk in this thing. And then the Sand chips him down. And we do pick up the KO. My man, King Clyde, did say that was probably a damage roll on his Zeraora because he had a lot of bulk in it, it seems. Like, he must have had a crazy amount of bulk in it. But we were this close to getting reverse swept. 1, because I got greedy. And 2, because I put Recover instead of Fake Out. Because if I'd had Fake Out on the Medicham, that shit would have done like 50% to that Zeraora. It would have done a lot. It would have done so much. It wouldn't have been even a problem. But a great prep by him for running the Sugar Berry on the Zeraora. Very, very cool tech. Bulk up, Fire Punch, fantastic. Like, just really, really cool Zeraora set. Credit to him completely. But B, this channel is all about learning. This community is all about improving as players. Please, never let your ego get the best of you. Never get greedy and go for that 6-0 if you can secure a 5-0 win guarantee. Like, just don't be an idiot like I was. Please, like, don't do that shit. Because if I had jump kicked, we would never have been a roll away from losing that game. And I think the roll must have been heavily in our favor, but nevertheless, like, and also run Fake Out, don't run Recover on your Medicham, don't do that shit. That shit was stupid. But yeah, GG to Clyde. A way closer game than it looked at one point. I really thought I was going to be bouncing this video and talking about a 6-0 win, but it wasn't to be, and that's okay. That's okay. We come out with a dub, and that's the most important thing. So we do get a nice 1-0 victory here. Go and check out my Man's Like the Battle because I would love, if he did live com, I would love to see that. His thoughts must have been crazy. He must have thought he was going to win at the end there. Like, that must have been so up and down for him. But yeah, nuts. So definitely check out his side of the battle. Make sure you check out everybody else in the NPL Minors that you can and show some love to everyone. I haven't yet seen week 1 that hasn't gone up as of yet, which is weird because obviously you guys have seen it a week ago. But for me, I haven't seen your response to it yet, but I am almost certain you guys are showing fantastic support on that. So I'm already going to say it. Thank you for your support on week 1. It means the absolute world to me. Thank you so much for loafing around with me, guys, and I'll catch you again next time.